Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always thank you for the support. So I did say that I was going to come back with Hunkydory, and the blockbuster has arrived at my house, and today I thought I'd have a play with Festive Friends. So I am going to work through all of the kits over a couple of videos. I thought I'd start with one of my favourite first, so I'm sort of going to do them in the order that I like them really. So Festive Friends came out on top, so there's two that I really like, the Festive Friends and the cute one, I think it is, the one that's got the cat in, and then the Contemporary and the other one are less of my favourites, although they're still beautiful in their own right. So I thought I would start with Snow Much Fun, which is the penguins. So I'm not going to go through the kit because I know they have done quite a few times on Hobby Maker and Hunkydory TV as well, so I'm not going to do that today. So this, although this is my favourite little set, this is my least favourite out of this collection, purely because really it's designed for one topper and then two backing sheets. So I am going to split them up because luckily it's a bit like the Decoupage and it does fit on top, so they've really designed that really well. But you haven't got as much scope to mess around with it as you have with the other ones. Having said that as well, sorry to go back, but I did find in my set I had an extra sheet of the snowman topper, so you know, that was a bonus. Okay, so let me pop those to the side for a second, and I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and this is the tonic one, and I've got a piece of 300 GSM white card. This happened to come from Craft Stash, and it was a pack of 50 by, I think it's by Craft UK, so it was quite a good deal. Normally I would buy from Crafter's Companion, but they didn't have any in stock, so I had to go elsewhere basically. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this card to 7 by 7. We'll put that in the bit box. And put the trimmer down for a second, and then we'll come back with layers. So we've got a 7 by 7, and I'm going to be folding this in half to make the card. So bear with me 2 seconds. Got everything out, and the embossing tool has now gone walkies. Okay, so the Hunkydory one's gone walkies, but I've got this Crafter's Companion one, so I use that instead. So I'm going to be scoring this in half at the 3.5 mark. And like I say, this is just white cardstock. That's going to form the base of my card. So let's pop that out of the way and bring back our trimmer. Okay, so the foiling on this is gold, so I am going to come in with some gold mirror. Because we're using the shorter card, I can go ahead and use up smaller bits, or you can go ahead and use up smaller bits. I haven't got any in there at the moment, so that is fine. So I'm going to come in, so this is half of 7, so 3.5. So I'm going to take my layer to 3.5 minus 2 notches, and then if we open that out, we're going to go minus the 7 notches, and that should fit nicely onto there like so. It does. So we'll keep that to the side. And these little bits, it's always worth keeping for odd little bits that you do. So for this piece here, we're going to come down 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 7, and I'm going to use this bottom piece, and again we're going to go 3.5 minus 4 notches. So we've still got a decent sized piece there that we can use elsewhere, but this piece should fit quite nicely onto there with a lovely border all the way around. That looks stunning. Okay, let's pop that out the way. And we can do just a little bit of assembling for where we're at the moment. So I'm going to use my Kalau all-purpose glue. Just being super careful on this mirror card, because if it splurges out it can take the finish off. It is my preferred glue purely because you do have that little bit of time just to get it in the right place, but just be careful with it. And like I say, if it does splurge out the sides, sometimes it's better to wait until it dries than trying to wipe it off. Okay, so again with this top piece, and I will just pop a little bit of tacky glue, and this is the Crafter's Companion tacky glue as well, that one Kalau, and I just put a bit in the corners just for a little bit of stability and just to give me that little bit of quick stick, because I am going to be building up onto this in a minute. Okay, so when I do the insert, I may not do that on screen, but it will just be a little piece that I cut to 7 by 7 and pop in. So that as it is would make a nice little DL card, you know, pop a little penguin on or something else. Okay, and that's what we may end up doing with this piece anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to pop out this actual topper, and I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take most of the layers, but I want to leave one of the layers for my next card. So let's see, so we've got, so just be careful with them. And I will just trim those a little bit. So let's see. That one. I think I might leave this layer for my other card. Let me just bring this piece in. Yeah, save that bit for the other card, and we will use this one, and we'll use all the rest on here. I don't want to use too much layers on the other one. You could certainly go to town with it, but because I'm doing a shaker card, I just don't want it too high. Okay, so that's the only reason why I'm not using all of these layers. And if I'd have been sensible like I did last time, I would have popped all of the foam pads on the back beforehand, but I haven't. So I will pop these out, and I'm just going to pop the foam pads on the back. So I'm going to be using the 1mm foam pads because I want a bit of lift, but I don't want it to be too in your face, and also because I'm going to be having this raised on here, I don't want it to be too heavy at the top. Don't want it to be too top heavy. Okay, so this little hat can go on there, and we've got a star there, so we can get that one out. And I think, are we going to use the magical time, or are we going to use the with love? I think we will use this magical time. Okay. Right, okay, so bear with me. What I'm going to do is just pop the foam pads onto the back of all this decoupage. Okay, so I've got the backs, the foam pads on. So we're just going to start with the biggest piece, and I've decided to keep that out for something else, so to use up that other scrap of card. Like I said, I really want to make the most out of this, because initially when I looked at it I thought, oh, I'm only going to get one card out of it, but so far from my idea I've got 2. So I'm just going to, and this should line, oops, just wipe that off. There we go. So this should line up with the bottom of that frame quite nicely, like so. I'm just going to grab a little piece of tissue just because I managed to put glue everywhere. Luckily it will dry clear. There we go. And if I do see anything when it's dry, what I can or need to do is just put a little bit of glitter on, or a gem or something like that. So here goes the next layer. So my hands have still not really recovered from that cutting the hedge the other day. Okay, so again we can line this one up with the bottom, and then just make sure that it goes on straight on there so we can see we're getting that dimension come through. So this is going to be my last big layer, and then I've got all the little layers, and I may not use all of the little layers, but we'll see. I might use some on those other ones that I've just decided to do something else with. It's a last minute thought. Okay, so again, just tacky glue. You know, I always put some on just to give me that bit of wiggle time. And now we're coming off the bottom, so we need to just match that up over, and I'm just checking with their little scarves and the little penguins hands or fins, flippers on the side there. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is a scarf, so I'm going to come in with this one here. Again, just check your angles, just check it matches up with what's below. And then we've got the green one, so I'd already taken the backs off these ones just because they were so tiny. Just going to pop his little scarf on. And then whose scarf have we got here? We've got another red scarf, so actually what I'm going to do is just pop this straight onto my other layer, because I don't think we need to go two layers high on his scarf. Oops. And then what we've got here, we've got a little hat. I'm going to pop that on there. We've got a little blue hat. So this one is going up here. Which one have we got here? We've got a red one. I think what I'm going to do is pop this one onto here, just so we've got a little bit going on there. And then we've got this fella's hat here, and we've got his little star. And then we've got his hat at the top as well. Okay. Where's that? No, this is his hat. There we go. Right, so there's our decoupage there, so pop that to the side. And then what I want this to be is still the 7 by 7 pretty much. So I'm going to be coming up quite high, and I'm going to use a little bit of red liner tape. Find the end, and before I do that, I'm going to grab my pencil if it's not hiding from me, like everything else. There we are. So I can come down just a tad, but if I just put a little line at the bottom, I know whereabouts I need to be. And I'm just using this super sticky just to give it a bit of extra stick, because obviously there is a lot of pressure on this with it being such a small space that's stuck to the card. So I'm going to use tacky glue as well, just for that bit of longevity, because that will sort of glue the fibres together. I've never had anything come apart with this red liner tape yet, touch wood. Okay, so again, if I pop this on here, we just want it to be more or less just under that 7. I'm going to go about there. Hopefully nothing's showing the other side, and it's not. Okay, so our card is going to sit like that. It's just because I wanted this to look like it was piled up and up and up. So now we've got our little star, and I'm going to just take those little edges off, so just the pips. And I'm going to grab some, we'll go with these circle ones. So I'm going to double pad it, so I'm going to pop 2 on. Look, my little eyes, don't they? I can still see those pips, but hopefully it won't be noticeable when it's on the card. So I just want that really to pop. Again, a bit of glue. I'm going to pop that like so. And then just for the finishing touches, just checking I've got a sheet of paper to hand. I have. And then what I'm going to do is just go around all of these snowflakes with my quickie glue pen. So purely because if I didn't, just it looks a little bare to me. If you've got any of the dies from last year where there was sort of Christmas sentiments in a strip, or if you've got like the Deck the Halls one, any of those dies that they had last year, I'm sure they'll bring us something equally as useful this year. So it's just really got started, hasn't it, the Christmas offerings. I know there's another new kit coming on Monday, so I'm quite looking forward to that. And what I'm also going to do is just put where I can see that little dark shadow of the snow. What's that? I don't think I need to do it on there. And I'm going to bring in my Glamour Dust, so my favourite glitter of choice. This is the Deco Art one. It's just super fine, and it always goes back in the bottle nicely, which is a bonus. So let's just pop. So that's going to be drying for a second, so we're just going to pop back it into there. A little bit on my desk, but we'll clear that in a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one to dry to the side. You can see at the moment we've got glitter sort of where we don't want it, but as soon as that glue dries, I'll be able to just go over that with one of my little brushes, and that will take that excess off for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, while that's doing that, I'm going to move on to card number 2. Now for card number 2, let's bring that bit out there. I'm going to be using this. What I have done beforehand, says what have I done with it, is I didn't get any of the Adorable Scoreable with this kit because I'm cheap. I just got the actual kits, the Blockbuster. I've got some of the snowflake acetate. Obviously I've got the little book as well. And I got some inserts, and I did get some extra sheets of the toppers that I really liked. This Adorable Scoreable is what I got with the recent members free gift. You know, I bought the Furry Friends, so this was the Adorable Scoreable that was from that, and I've used the tag die set from Hunkydory, so that's what I've used to get that shape. No, it's not that one. That one is the biggest one. Here it is. So I used the biggest one, and not the next one down, but the one after that. So sort of last one and the third to last. Okay. So what I am going to have to do is just quickly whip this through my Gemini. Now I just want to try and get the best positioning for this that I can. I think if I go around about there, stick it down. I was looking for my anti-static pad today, and I found this tape, so didn't find the anti-static thing, but hey ho. Right, so let's pop that through. So it's going to go through my Gemini 2. So we've got all of our plates except the metal shim. I'm going to pop that through. So it's nice and quiet, but it might make a clatter at the end as it comes through. There you go. And I'll pop that up. Okay, so we'll turn that off now. It's the only little bit of die cutting I'm doing today, and we'll pop that off. It's got to stick there. Obviously if you wanted to save that you could do, and probably not. It will go in my bit box just in case, but I don't know if I'm going to be using it at all. Okay, so that's the sort of basis for what I'm going to be doing is a shaker card. So let's pop that to the side. I'm going to bring in, so I bought from the range a pack of Craft UK 7x7 cards. I don't live near to my range. My range is on the other side of town, but I was having something else delivered, compost for the garden, so I just popped it on, so it didn't cost me any extra, and they're a really good price. And I think the next cheapest is Craft Stash, but they do have a delivery charge. And the only thing I would say is that they did put it in with the compost, although I think that will straighten out once I get some bits on. Okay, so let's bring in, and those are 7x7. So when it comes to sort of Christmas cards, I always sort of feel like go big or go home. You know, people like to receive a card that they're going to see. So that's why I've gone a little bit bigger. You can go 8x8 if you want to. The reason why I like 7x7 is because you get a good size piece left over from your A4, which, you know, is a decent size for another card. I mean, I could do a DL card with that, so you know, it's a good size to work with. It's a good size for selling, and it's a good size for making the most of your kit. No, it's not put that way yet. So that I've just cut to 2 notches under the 7, and that's still way too big. So let's see, it's not 7 by 7. Look how small this is. So this is 6 3/4 by pretty much 6 3/4. Okay, so we'll cut that down to 2 notches under it. 6 3/4. And again, let's try that again. I'm guessing they've done it that size to fit it in the 7 by 7 envelope, maybe. Okay, so we've got 2 nice little border strips there anyway. Hadn't planned for it, but hey ho. And then I'm going to bring in the piece of cardstock that's not foiled. So we need to go to, I think we're going to need to go to 6.5. So 6.5. I don't know if I want to use that other piece of that corner. Come out actually. So let's cut this corner off. So I'm just going to line it up with the grooves on my trimmer. Pop that off. Okay, so let's move that out of the way, and let's get this started. So firstly, I'm going to pop the gold mirror on. So again with the all-purpose glue, just because there is that bowing in this card, I'm going to pop a little bit of tacky on. And I'm hoping that will sort this out. Okay, and then this layer just going bang on top. Now if you wanted to sort of add a little bit of a difference to this, what you could do is pop it through an embossing folder. Just pop your embossing folder along that line, so that you would then get that this bit embossed. I know I've got an old Crafter's Companion sort of jumper sort of pattern similar to this, you know, with a poinsettia sort of rib. You know, you could do that sort of thing. You could pop a piece of ribbon along here. You could emboss just this bit. You know, there's heaps of ways you can really mix that up. Apologies if I do keep stopping, it's so hot up here. I do have to keep having a little bit of water to keep myself hydrated. So again, just a little bit of tacky glue, trying to give it the best of both worlds to make the try and keep it as flat as I can. And this is just going straight on top as if it was this it was the cardstock. That was the way it was designed, so that's the aim of my card there. Okay, so I've got choices. You could have it that way, but those baubles are going downwards, so although saying that, these ones are all over the place anyway, so you know, you could have it that way if you want to. I don't know if I would have it that way, because most of the strings are going that way, so I think I would have it as a normal side fold. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is I'm going to bring in some of this acetate, and this is the snowflake one. So I think that's the better one, and I have done a video before on how to make your own sort of snowfall video, snowflake acetate. If you haven't got any of this, by using normal acetate and a white pen, the acrylic marker one that comes with, well, this one was from the actual Academy of Colour, but I know they do a set which does have them in. So and you can just colour it in, leave it to set, and you will have the same effect. I'm having to use my super thin red liner tape on this. I am going to be using a little bit of tacky glue as well. So I might do a double row. Let's just put that on and snip. Actually, let's bring that in. And what I want to do is just make sure that that acetate is well enclosed on here, because we don't want anything coming out when we put our little shaker bits in. So, and although I'm using gold foil, or I've used gold foil on the layers, I am going to use silver sequins. So they're going to be little silver stars, I think, from Hunkydory, one of the little kits they have with all of the shaker bits in. I think I might have got it, I think Mum might have got it actually as part of a goodie box, because I've got more than one, and it's not the sort of thing she would normally buy, although she may have done, because of the little bottles are super cute and they're great for like mixed media sort of things as well, Halloween, and little potions and things in. Okay, nearly there. Sorry guys, it's taking a bit of time. So if I can get that off my finger. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just pop that on, and I'm just going to roughly cut around it first of all, out of the way, and then what I can do, just need to make sure that none of it is showing through afterwards. Just popping that onto there. There. And if you want to, you can stick it down and then cut it. Or you can use your die cutting machine to die cut it. You may have to use the metal shim to do that though. Okay, so I'm just going to give these a good little press down, and then we'll pop those off. Now if you do have trouble with the backs of these red liner tape sticking to you because of the static, apparently if you've got one of those tumble dryer sheets, if you use those still, they or a kitchen towel, they will stay on there. These are dropping to the floor quite nicely for me, although I'll probably be finding them for weeks to come. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue around, just not going too near the edges because obviously I don't want that to show, and then I just need to pop that on, just making sure that's all hidden, and then I'm just going to give that a really good press down. Okay, so that's the effect we've got. Okay, so that's going to go over our penguins. Now the other thing I'm going to do just before I do anything else is just take a piece of this kitchen roll, and if you've got an anti-static pad, just go over it. I couldn't find one. I've got two. I've got a big purple one that I've had since I started crafting, and I've also got the Crafter's Companion one, the little one that they call a mouse pillow. But I couldn't find either of those today, so I've had to sort of not. I'm using quite big bits of glitter anyway, so I'm using those sequins. They're quite chunky, so I'm hoping that it should be okay. So I'm just going round the outside with my foam tape. It is only probably about 2mm, so it's not super deep. But the important thing is just to make sure that there are no gaps, because if there is a gap, it will find its way out. Okay, so just be super careful. And what I also like to do is where I have got gaps, I like to just put an extra little piece just to make sure where I can. That way we've got sort of 2 lines of defence, but just make sure that you can't see anything from the other side. So that's that. So now we can come to our decoupage first of all. So this piece here is going to go on. Obviously, because I have cut the bottom of this off, what I'm going to do is just roughly trim around their feet. Try not to lose any of the detail. I don't think you're going to see a lot of the feet anyway, if I'm honest with you, but I'm just going to go round. I'm going to leave. Oh, just put that into a nice circle, I think. Let's see how that looks on there. Yeah, okay. So now we can come in with our 1mm pads. And again, I've got these nice big chunky ones. So these ones I ordered when I ordered my Blockbuster, just for the deco larges and things. Cut that in half. I just thought it would be handy to have some bigger 1mm pads. So just put that in there, and then if I've got some of these tiny ones, and I've already cut some in half there, so just for this scarf at the top, and just put that on there, I think. Okay, so let's pop this on. If you wanted to go a little higher with the decoupage in here, you could always double pad like I did with the star on that other card. So just put some tacky glue on, and then we're just going to pop that into place. There we go. And then so we need some of these sprinkles. Now I don't mind if they go a bit behind as well as in front, so it's just going to give us quite a bit of movement. And I'm probably going to put half a jar in there. It will spread out once I get this in. I'm just going to go around and take this off. Hopefully it should more or less come off in one go, because there's just a couple of pieces. And just be careful when you pull it up that it just doesn't unstick itself from the actual acid tape. So I'm just going to put that across, and I am going to put some tacky glue all over, just the same as I always do, What I would say is if you do this, don't start shaking it straight away. Give it a little bit of time just to sort of dry really. And then this is just going to go straight over the top. See, here's a little bit. Right, okay, so those should settle down in a second, so we'll let that set for a second. The other thing I want from that original sheet is going to be the sentiment, and I am going to bring in a little bit of this blue. Is sort of quite similar to that one, so if I pop that out, don't want to do a bow, so I'm just going to double it over, pop it through and bring that back through, and then just maneuver that tight so that it just brings that in. Okay, and what we can do is just cut those off. We can trim those down when they're on our card. Okay, so here we go. So we've got this piece here. I need to make sure that goes nice and flat, so what I'm going to do is pop that over and I'm going to pop some red liner tape on, and that's purely with the die cutting. The card has worked a little, so it's changed shape with the pressure of the machine, so just going to give that a bit of extra stick by putting the red liner tape on. I just need to get it off. I will go around. I'm going to use tacky glue all around because I want a nice quick stick on this. Okay, so let's go going this way. I think I'm going to go like so. Okay, and then this piece, we'll work out where we want that to go. So we could have it at the top, so it looks like it's a double tag, and then it's got with love and best wishes to the family. So just so that I can do that, I'm just going to pop one of these on that end there, so just in that bottom corner. And we'll just put some glue on there, pop that across like so. Should stick down. Let me just hold that for a second while that takes. And then while I'm just holding that down, I'm just going to reach into my drawer, and I've got pearls, or I have got gems. Okay, so I've decided to go with these gold ones. So we're going to pick up on these gold tones that we've got running through. But I've also brought out these clear ones and these sort of sparkle ones, because I think I might accentuate those little snowflakes. So I'm going to go with 3 big ones down here. Oops, sticking to me. 1, 2, 3. Maneuver itself into the right place. And this is the hardest bit about making a card, is getting these gems in line. And then I'm going to go, and I can see they are just a little bit out of line, so I'll sort that in a second. Just want 2 smaller ones up here. 1 and 2. Okay, I think I'll go with these. No, I think I'm going to mix it actually. So for this big snowflake that we have here, here and here, I'm going to pop the clear one on. Oops, no, let's pop it on the right way, not upside down. We've got one there, and we've got that one there. Okay, and then for this medium sized one, which is there, oh, we've only got the one on there, so we'll go with the sparkle on that one. This could do with being a bit smaller. If you've got anything a bit smaller than that, that would be perfect. And then lastly, what I'll do is I'll bring those sparkle ones onto this frame. So I've got one there, and one there. So let's bring one, two, and come back here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we might need one more just to make it an odd number. There we go. Okay, so that's that one, and obviously that will have the insert in, and you can see that will shake quite nicely, and they're not sticking too much to the front. There's a couple here which I think was from where it was jammed up. Oops, just move that out of the way. Why did I do that? There we go. Back on. No. This is why you don't pick things up when they're wet. Okay, so that's that one. So let me just move those out of the way a second. I'm going to bring in, this is just a cheap makeup brush that came from, I think, Pound Shop. I'm just going to go over that we did earlier, and that will just bring all of that glitter off so that I can wear it for the rest of the day. So you just get a bit of sparkle. Okay, and what I'm going to do as well is just super quick. I'm going to grab another piece of the 300 GSM, and I'm going to mark that down again to 7 by 7, 7 by 7, and I'm going to bring in that little piece of gold that I have. There we are. So 3.5 minus 2 notches, and 7 minus 2 notches, and then this piece here, hopefully we should be 7 minus 4 notches, and then we want 3.5 minus 4 notches, so that should fit onto there quite nicely. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the scoreboard. I'll pop this on super quick, and we're just going to score, let's just use that other one, down that 3.5 again, exactly the same as we did for that first card. Fold it over, give it a nice burnish. And this is going to be like a slim DL. So that's our card here. So like I say, this is going to be a super quick one. Blink and you may miss it. going to pop that onto there. So again, we're just doing exactly the same as I did on the first card. Again with my Kalal. Sometimes if you see me sort of grabbing randomly, it's just because there's a string that's come out from that alcohol glue. I don't know if you pick it up on camera, but it's attached itself to me. So we're just going to make sure we get that the right way up. Put that on. Give that a little bit of a press down. And then we're going to bring in our little snowman from earlier. We have got just a 1mm pad on. A little bit glue. Pop them. We'll pop them like so in the middle. So we haven't got a sentiment left on the pack. So I know I have got the book from last year. Okay, so from the last Christmas book of sentiments, this one, Essential Book of Christmas Sentiments 2022. I've just picked this one, which is gold on a white background, which is saying just let it snow. I'm just going to pop a little pad on the back. I'm going to pop this in this corner like so. Whoops, that's live. Again with these snowflakes, just the big ones. Just going to go in with these clear, let's just turn that round upside down, it's going to be easier. These clear gems over the top there. And obviously this glue will dry clear. And there's another one, yes there is. What's there? Is that all of them? Oh no, one more there. Okay, and then lastly, just to finish again, just to give it a little bit of something extra, just because I feel like we haven't done too much with it, since it's just a bit of the decoupage that I've stolen, that little offcut. Now if you want to go to town and just pop glitter on all of those snowflakes again, over, you can do, you know, there's no rules. You could even emboss this back in paper again, like I said, so you know, hundreds of different ways that you can get that. So that just needs to dry so that I can get the excess off, like I did with the other one. So that is 3 cards when I thought I'd get one out of that set. So I am more than happy, absolutely thrilled even, not thrilled. So we've got those 3. So this one is our little bonus one, although it's a decent card, you know. And then we've got this one, which will stand nicely on a mantelpiece if you wanted to put any little acetate danglers there. You could cut some snowflakes, mount them on some acetate strips so that they're standing up there. And then obviously we've got our little shaker card as well. Oops, I just didn't want to put that on there. So I'm going to come back again next time with another one from this kit. I suspect it might be the dog. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that cute dog right there. I suspect it's going to be that one, although I may change my mind because there are the cows and I am quite taken with the cows as well. These cards, they just need an insert in and an envelope. These two will definitely fit in just a normal 7x7 envelope. I'm probably going to have to make one for this one. I'm going to carry on, like I said last time, I am going to carry on crafting with this kit behind the scenes. And then at some point I'll do a video with all of the cards that I've made out of this Festive Friends kit. So it'll just be one inspiration video rather than a doing. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.